Today on Cobra TV, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be talking to Rumandapples, who in my opinion is an amazing radio personality that covers everything from games to lifestyles. And today, we get his opinion on No Man's Sky.
I just feel that it's going to be a game that feels almost overwhelming to a degree, because what they're saying is you can't finish the game, and there's so many infinite options, so you can do everything. But with players, all gamers, we fall into a certain habit of how we want to do something or something we're comfortable with, especially with such an expansive game that probably has a learning curve to a degree. You know, I see a lot of gamers nowadays not wanting to fuck with it.
And you said the right thing. You know, there's no end to it. You know,
See,
and
that's
it's
the
not
other
just a game loop. I mean, when you're talking about game loops, you're talking Battlefield 4, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto. You know, those are your typical game loops. But I think that in the future, when he adds a traditional multiplayer to it, that it's going to provide a lot more of an interruption to the game loop, going from solar system to solar system and destroying the antagonists.
Sure. And I can understand what you mean by that. What I'm just concerned about is I would state that I would like to see a storyline that does end, but then the rest of the world continues to be open and infinite.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what he said. You travel to the center of the universe. You travel to the center of the galaxy, and there's an end to it'll bring you closure to the story that you were following. You know, there's still that reason, and I think that's that game loop that you're talking about.
Yeah. I would look at it and say, as long as if they stick to that, okay, I believe they will. I really do. It looks, from what I've seen, and it's not a lot. So a lot of all this is speculation outside of statements.
Right.
You know, once we get behind a pilot seat, and I'll be doing it. I have a legitimate interest in it. And this came from you. It came from quite a number of people who told me about this game and said I have to check it out because they think it's something I would really have a lot of invested interest in. And it's weird because I'm not necessarily a pilot game fan, but this looks to have a lot of, like I said in my videos, man, it all comes down to ambition. And this game is very ambitious. They're doing a lot with it, and it's something I have to check out because I want to see that 10% of life that is actually in this game. And they say 90% of the fucking planets are dead. That is a little bothersome, but the 10% I want to see. So that does motivate me to play longer.
I definitely think that is a number that they're going to change.
I hope so.
If you see the trailer that he's got where he picked that solar system that he's going from planet to planet, you could tell that he's in the same solar system on each planet because they have that same building on more than one planet.
Mm-hmm.
So in that solar system, there's at least 3 planets that has life on it. So I really think that statement was just his hopes to spark our excitement into exploring.
Yeah, that makes sense, how it could be kind of a padded statistic. That would not surprise me. You know, take everything you read online with a grain of salt, as the term goes. But overall, with No Man's Sky, I think the game itself, if it is what it says it is, and if it is what it, you know, I've seen the gameplay trailer. If it is like that when it comes out on PC, it's not going to be a monster, you know, not for graphical settings. I mean, there are people who will use insane graphical settings. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be very playable. Overall, I think it's going to be a game of like a pilot's Skyrim, if you want to compare it to something. No, seriously.
No, I agree.
Because it's not an MMO.
No, but it can.
So it could be. I would not want to see this turn into an MMO.
I would love to see a way to be able to get your friends and, you know, just invite you to my location and we can explore that planet together. And maybe put it to where you'll never be able to go back to your location if you come to my invite. You're stuck on my location forever.
Absolutely.
Or you can just fly away.
Yeah, it's not impossible. No. It's not something that they can't do. We're at a time in gaming where that's completely possible. I'm just looking at it, and I hope this is as good as it claims to be. You know, from what I've read and what I've seen, it looks good. I like it. I like the choices you have because it's very open.
Yeah.
You have a lot, and the visual element seems to be very nice. They spent a lot of time with that visual aesthetic, which is necessary if it's a game that doesn't end, that has random seed generators.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. I want to see how it goes. I want to see what these weird dinosaurs look like. I want to see and travel, and I want to see how long it takes me to get this interstellar drive so I can travel to other planets.
Unfortunately, I think the majority of the gamers who pick it up and play it, they're not going to understand why it's good with the freedom. Why do I have this much freedom? Why aren't I being told what to do? And I think it's going to get bad reviews in that aspect.
I think it'll get mixed because you have to realize I really believe that there are this relates to people need to have an older school mentality when it comes to gaming to play this game for a long duration of time. Not in the sense of because it's open world or anything like that. It's just sort of how MMO players have that grind incentive. It was similar in old school Nintendo games when you were a kid growing up. You didn't have so many continues or checkpoints or people telling you to do this or do this. Or go to this objective or stop this force from killing this civilian. You didn't have any of that. Right. You just had to keep going through the game and utilize your memory. And I'm not saying this game's going to be completely all memory or nothing like that. It just goes off of you have to be more driven to keep going, to keep playing, to try new things and not get stuck in a rut.
Yeah.
Not get stuck in a niche or only do certain things or think the game's bad because one aspect isn't what you thought it was. You have to experience this whole game. So it's going to take a lot more gameplay time before you can make a real review on something like this. I would say if you don't get your interstellar drive, then you haven't even experienced the beginning of the game. Because think about it. If you have to get an interstellar drive before you can really do anything, well, if you're going to review it, you should at least get the interstellar drive and experience all the other options.
Yeah.
But it all comes back to you need an old school mentality for this. You need to play it. You need to play it and be open to this. You also have to be open to this idea. You have to want to go travel around in a spaceship and shoot bad guys. And then now I want to play it.
Yeah.
Because now I want to just get in my spaceship and go fuck up some bandits. Straight up. Like, why not? I'm in a spaceship.
Fuck yeah, man. I mean, if you were given a spaceship right now and it was real and someone said, here, you can actually go into space and you can go to other solar systems and places that our current technology cannot do. Would you do it?
I'd go blow up the Death Star. Fuck the Death Star. I'm gonna go fucked up.
But yeah, you would do it, and it would be fun, and you wouldn't say, well, I'm not going to get in a spaceship because I don't understand what the point of it is.
No, the point is you're in a fucking spaceship. You can go anywhere. Go. Exactly. See this shit. This is a game, but it's also a great example of, yes, there needs to be a story. Of course there does. And the story has an ending. Fantastic if they do that. But it's also the whole exploration sense. The whole reason why Star Trek is so popular. You want to go. You want to journey and see shit. And this game seems to be that kind of appetizer for what we could really see with it.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's what happens. Now, mind you, I'm saying hopefully. Not the same point. I got a lot of thoughts about it. I'm not sure if it's going to be as advertised. Granted, it's from indie. It's indie-ish, right? Yeah. So you got to be careful. A lot of shit on indie is overhyped.
Yep.
Just like a lot of shit in AAA is overhyped. But at the same point, once again, lack of information. Now, there's going to be a multiplayer.
Right.
But so okay, traditional multiplayer elements. Okay, so that's fine, right? That they have that. That'll help people.
Yeah.
It's good. Don't get me wrong. The game in itself looks like it's going to be fun. It really does. It looks like it's going to be a fun experience. And I think the reason I'm so skeptical is because gaming has been lacking that for so long. And I've been very weary of games that have ever proclaimed anything like that due to the fact of our releases. Look at the last bunch of releases that have came out. Overhype.
Oh, I know.
Super hype, bad. Tolerable, which is horrible because we're in a state where we should be making games that make us go, holy shit. That game is fucking awesome. But unfortunately, we get, it's all right if you like this kind of stuff. Or, it's okay. I took it back and got this game. We don't want to be hearing that. No Man's Sky, everybody listening on what Cobra does. Is this Cobra TV? I think it's Cobra TV.
It's Cobra TV.
Cobra TV. Son of a bitch, I'm on Cobra TV. You know what? It's a good thing I'm on Cobra TV. I don't come on many other people's shows. I want you to know that. I don't really do that very often, Nick. No Man's Sky. Anyways, looks ambitious, looks interesting and creative. I see a few drawbacks with how the players are going to react to it. I see a few drawbacks on if this game is boring, we're going to have a huge amount of boring. An infinite world of boring.
Yeah.
You realize that, right? If like not the if the enemies aren't a certain way, if there's not enough life, if there's there's certain aspects that are hard, maybe possibly hard to get resources, or a lot of grinding to get certain resources to get your stellar drive or to get upgrades. We could have a lot of people pissed because the game is so godforsakenly draining on you and it's not as fun, yet there's so much of it.
But I would like to point out a quote that you made and a quote that Sean Murray made, that we're in an age where they can just change your game from where they're at, right there on your console. They could update it and you turn it on and it's completely different. And one of the things Sean Murray said is he hopes that he'll be able to work on this game and do updates for years to come.
Okay, so he's looking at this as a long-term investment.
Right.
Now see, that's very good to hear, especially from the developer. That's very good to hear. That's something we want to hear. This guy, so he's like, all right, I want to make this and I want to put long-term investment in it so it can be a unique game for you. That's a good thing to hear.
Yeah, so when it's getting bad reviews because only 10% of the planets are not populated with life and hardly anybody's coming across any, all he has to do is just update that. I'm sure he'll do that because he doesn't want his game to suck. Thank you, Rum, for coming on the show.
Oh, it's absolutely a pleasure.
Check out Rumandapples' show. The link is in the description below. He's a good guy. And subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. The Twitter. And everything is Rum. Thank you, Cobra, for having me on, brother. It's a rare chance we get to talk about something. Yeah.
We're always very busy with our selective duties.